Before I call the next member, and I think we've just had a fairly egregious example, I do want to warn members that in this debate it is not appropriate to read speeches.
Mr. Speaker.
Parmjit Parmar.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is with pleasure I rise to take part in this debate on Prime Minister's statement. Mr. Speaker, I'm really proud to be part of this team and government because when national-led government presented its first budget in 2009, it did so against the backdrop of a sharp recession that began in early 2008 and the impact of the worst global financial crisis since the 1930s. In the absence of policy change, the outlook was going to be for endless debt and exploding levels of government debt. On top of this, New Zealand experienced Canterbury earthquakes and a series of finance company failures. So the government's plan throughout this period was to support the economy in the short term by running operating deficits, reflecting lower tax revenue and higher spending on items such as benefit. This approach of government provided that extra support to the economy when it was needed the most and cushioned New Zealanders and their families in the recession when this need was required. However, the government did so within a clear framework of helping Kiwis get ahead and getting net government debt below 20% by 2020. Now, our GDP growth is among the highest in the OECD and is expected to average almost 3% over the next 5 years. Mr. Speaker, New Zealand is doing well compared to most other countries. Interest rates are staying lower for longer. Household disposable income is rising faster than inflation, rising 9% in real terms in the last 4 years and is forecasted to increase by another 9% over the next 4 years. Unemployment is forecasted to drop to 4.5% by 2018. Mr. Speaker, employment is growing. Yes, employment is growing. 80,000 more people are employed than a year ago, and 217,000 more people are employed than 5 years ago. This government knows how to create that environment where businesses can prosper and have that confidence of investing more in their business and employing more staff. New Zealand recorded 3.9% economic growth over the year to June, which was one of the higher rates among developed countries. New Zealand economy provides an amazing opportunity for businesses and investments. The investment opportunities are endless. New Zealand is recognized globally as being a safe place to invest and do business. We are growing new industries such as ICT and high-tech manufacturing and strengthening existing ones such as our food industry, tourism, and international education. And we are making strides in areas such as welfare, education, health, and law and order to help improve the lives of New Zealanders and their families. Mr. Speaker, I can't express how thrilled the communities in Mount Roskill and around Auckland get when I tell them about national government's Home Start package, which will be up and running from 1st April this year. It will help around 90,000 home buyers into their first house over the next 5 years. Mr. Speaker, what I hear from wider communities when I'm out and about is that the national-led government is a government that delivers what we said we will. Yes, national-led government is a government that delivers what we said we will. My own very recent experience, Mr. Speaker, I'm still in the process of looking for a suitable space to lease out and set up my out-of-parliament office. But there is a very small number of vacant commercial properties. And then they're not available in the area I'm keen in. Despite this being a little time-consuming, it does provide a perspective of how good our economy is doing at the moment. This is, as most, to nearly all commercial buildings are occupied by businesses that are finding a high level of success. Such high occupancy of commercial buildings is a practical sign of a brilliant economy. This government, under the leadership of Right Honourable John Key, is working in the interest of every New Zealander. Under national government, New Zealand is in a good shape and is getting better. This is due to the hard work and positive attitude of New Zealanders. It's also because of the stability and confidence that's come from 6 years of strong and stable government. We are taking the next steps to lock in the gains of the last 6 years, to create a long-term lift in New Zealand's prosperity. Mr. Speaker, there is much to do, as we have heard from the Prime Minister and ministers, and we have 3 busy years ahead of us. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.